Hello and welcome to INKY UMBER Tangle project. So if this is the first video that you're watching, I would suggest that you watch the introduction video. It is on the playlist INKY UMBER on my channel here. So in the introduction video, you'll get to know what this project is about and the supplies that we'll be using in the project. So please do watch that before you tangle. So grab your supplies and let's get started with today's project. So I'm going to start with my Micron 01 in black color. We're going to first do a little tangle and then we're going to go with our pencil and create a string. Yeah, we are going to work a little differently on this tile. First tangle that we'll be adding to our tile today is called as SANDBEEZ. So it starts something like this. You're going to make a little orb in the center like so, and then you're going to add an aura around the orb. You're going to again add little orbs or kind of oval shapes around this aura that you have done. It's not exactly roundish, it's kind of like elongated orbs, something like this. And notice how I'm turning my tile and going along, starting right on the aura and then adding the elongated orb. Once you have this, now what I want you to do is leave a little space and we are going to go around again and add another aura to this entire shape that we made here. It need not be exactly a circle, just like so. Again, we are going to do a similar elongated oval shapes on this aura too. Slowly turning your tile so that your drawing hand is in a comfortable position. Go around making these tiny little elongated ovals or orbs like this. We're going to fill this entire space in the center with lights. So you can first make little lines for reference like a plus and a cross. And then you can go around filling that in between spaces with more lines like this. Now what I'm going to do is add another tiny little aura inside the center orb that we made and another aura very close by to the Tangle SANDBEEZ, just like this. Notice how I'm turning my tile so that it is easier for me to draw this. For the center orb, the little one that we made, I'm going to use my brown Micron pen here, like brown. You can use 01 or 05, whichever is comfortable for you, and just ink in the entire little orb here in the center. Before adding our next set of tangles here, now I'm going to pick up my pencil and we're going to do a little string over here. Of course, you can do it directly with pen also, but just to start off, you can use a pencil. Again, like how I drew the center lines here, something similar to that way, like in a plus shape. You're going to add little marks like this, like as if you're drawing a plus here. And once you have this, now imagine you're drawing a cross, and you go and make your marks like so. Once you have these markings all done, now we are going to join these two markings, each of these two markings, with a little triangle or a petal shape, going something like this. So just go around, and don't worry if one is a little bigger than the other, or one goes a little wonky. It's all okay. That is the charm of having a handmade drawing. So something like this. We are going to go on repeating these petals around and complete making a string. So you can continue with your pencil for another layer or the entire string, or you can even grab your pen and go with it. It is totally fine. So for the next layer, what I'm going to do is again join these two tips of the petal or the triangle and form another little shape like this. Sorry for all the background noises that you can hear, like I don't have a very soundproof setting here, so it is what it is. So now that I have a second layer, so I'm going to continue doing this for maybe another 1 or 2 layers. But before that, you can grab your pen and retrace these pencil lines. Once you have retraced this, as I said, we're going to repeat it for another 1 or 2 times, and you can again pick up your pencil and go with your pencil and retrace with your pen, or you can directly draw using your pen like how I'm doing here. So I think now you get an idea of what the string is about. It's something like your dream catcher. Just going to keep repeating the petal shape or the triangular shape. Of course, as you after the first layer, it is more of a squarish shape, wonky squares. I'm going to do it one more time here. And don't worry if your center orb is a little off the center. Some petals might not be, or the sum of this wonky squares might not be full, like it may go out of the tile, which is totally fine. No need to worry about it. Just go ahead and keep joining. Now we are going to go ahead and fill in these little spaces with different tangles. But before doing that, we will do something called as the coffering technique in Zentangle, which is something like this. Now if you take this squarish shape here, I'm going to go ahead and add an aura like so, and then join the edges to give it a coffered look. So we're going to do that in all of these spaces. I'm just not doing it in these triangle spaces here because it's already quite small. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in rest of the other spaces. So go at your own pace and start adding the coffering to all of these squarish shapes. You can pause the video, go ahead and do it at your own pace, and meet me back here once you're done. Now I have the coffering done for all the squarish shapes here, and now let us start adding the tangles in all of these little spaces. The first tangle that we're going to do is called the fragment B12. So we're going to fill that in these little triangle areas here, and I'm going to start with my brown micron here, and in this little space what I'm going to do is from corner to corner add a curve line, and then again go from this corner to this corner, and then in this little space I'm going to smush in a little orb and ink in the rest of the area like this, and then add a central line like so. I'm going to go ahead and do that in all of these little triangle spaces here like so. Smush in the orbs and ink in the little space, and continue to do it on all of the triangle spaces here. In the next area here, before adding in the pattern, what I'm going to do is pick up a thicker nibbed pen like 10 or 12 in black. I'm going to ink in this areas completely like so. So now we have this area all inked in, and since we have added a lot of ink, we'll give it some time to dry before we continue adding the tangles more in them. But meanwhile we'll go ahead and work on this space here. The next set of squarish shapes that we have, I'm going to add a tangle called Flukes. I'm going to use my brown pen again, and the tangle Flukes goes something like this. We're going to just go ahead from two sides and keep auraing the space like so, and as you reach somewhere to the other two corner, you're going to just ink in and then join the edges like so. Going to repeat this in all of these squarish shapes here. we have this entire area filled with the tangle flukes. For adding tangles in this area, I'm going to start by drawing the flux shape or the teardrop shape. The tangle flux, Rick's variation of flux in the center. And once you have the flux shape down, all you're going to do is just emerging more petals out of that central flux shape and joining to the end. This is also very similar to the pattern Abundis or even the latest Tangle by Zentangle Ink, the IDOS. So very similar to that, a teardrop shape or the flux shape, and then petals emerging on either side. And then these little areas I'm going to just ink in. Like this. And just like how you do for flux, you're going to add a little line and a dot, like a stem or a pollen in the petal. You're just going to do so. You're going to again repeat in all of these areas here. So go ahead and do it at your own pace. Remember to keep turning your tile, spur the comfort of your hand, keep breathing, and go one step at a time. Now this spaces where we have inked in black is all dry now. So now I want you to pick up your white jelly roll. If you have, it's either 8 or 10 white jelly roll. All you're going to do is go to this space here, the tangle print arm, where you start in the center and go around and just add in the spiral shape like this. Continue this in the rest of the spaces here. Now I have all these little triangle and square shapes filled with the fragments and tangles, and now we are going to work in these corner areas here. For these areas here in the corners of the tile, with my brown micron, I'm going to first make a little aura following this kind of starish shape here. Once you have the aura down, all you're going to do is add in little orbs, filling the space. have one side done here, and I'm going to repeat that on all the other three corners of the tile here, and then we'll come back and add in the remaining space. So you can go at your own pace. You can pause the video and just go at your own pace, and then join me back here once you're done. We are going to use our pencils to create delicate little tangles here, like a background, or like say if you don't want to do it with pencil because as time goes, like it might smudge and go off. So in that case, if you have let me show you here, a very light gray micron pen like this, you can even use that, but it's not a must. Like if you do it with this pen, it'll like stay permanently, or else you can very well go ahead and do it with the pencil here. Just add a little aura like this going around. So instead of pen, we are using pencil or the gray micron. So I'm going to show you with the pencil on one side and the gray micron on one side for you to know the difference. So this is how it looks, just an aura with the pencil. It's very similar to your shade of pencil, even probably lighter itself than the pencil, if you see here. Something like this. Okay, so even if you don't have this pen, you can see you can easily achieve the same effect with the pencil here. So go around creating an aura around this orbs that you just added for the star shape here. In this area, you can continue with the gray micron, or if you don't have that gray micron, as I said earlier, if you're doing with the pencil, then continue with the pencil. And we are going to use the Tangle Muka here, but like very randomly in different directions. So just as a background, you're going to use Muka going here and there in different directions, like so, any which way that you want. Just go ahead in holly-bow fashion, as if the mukas are going one behind the other like this, and fill up the space with as many mukas as you wish to. And these little spaces here in between the muka, you can just add lines going in a random direction, like so. So you're just creating a background which is very light. So the focus is the central star here, but instead of leaving a white space, you're just adding a light background here. But of course, if you're not keen on adding this background, it is totally fine. You can even leave the white space of the tile here, which is totally okay. And if you notice, I'm not very particular about the directions of these mukas, just randomly here and there, wherever I find a little space, I'm adding in the mukas and filling up the rest of the space with lines. So go ahead and do this on all the 4 corners of the tile. Now I have here all of my background filled with muka and lines using my pencil. The next step in this style is to add some shading. So let us start with SANDBEEZ here that we first drew, and with your pencil just go around this ovally shapes that you made. And in the other corner too. For this next shape that we made, I'm going to just add a little shade right here at the corner of the triangle. While you're shading the center portion of the tile, be mindful not to rub your palm too much here, because you have used pencil to create the background. It will all smudge easily. For this print arms that we did, I'm going to shade like just 2 corners of this. Because it's a black background, your graphite might not be very stark, but since it's a white pen, you'll still be able to see nice shade of gray if you add the graphite. The Tangle Flukes, I'm going to just add on one side of the center line here. You can either go on the right side or the left side, so whichever side you choose, you can just continue on that side on all of them. For these flux shapes, I'm going to add the shading right here. these orbs here, just go ahead and add a very light shade of pencil. Once you're done with all the gray shades, uh, you can pick up your white charcoal and just in the center where you have added the Tangle SANDBEEZ, right here at this point, you can add a little highlight here. As a final step, picking up your jelly roll 10, add a little highlight here at the center orb, just a small little highlight here, maybe another small dot, and additionally, if you wish to, in this areas of fluke also, you can add just a tiny little dot as a highlight. Now it is time to add in our chop or initial, and at the back of the tile you can date the tile, write the names of the tangles so you don't forget it. So here's our project for today. I hope you enjoyed creating along with me. Do tag me when you post your tiles anywhere on social media, and like, share, comment and subscribe if you're enjoying the series of Inky Umber with me. Thank you and see you soon with another episode.